Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Get real good. That's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, Rebecca Lynn Norrington, and I am so excited to be here that I don't know what to say first. Let me welcome all my new listeners. Reality Spirituality is getting so popular. Thank you all for my new Twitter followers. Oh, my goodness, just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, soon to be millions and millions and millions all over the world. And why? Because this show, Reality Spirituality, is about everyday life experiences. I'm talking about from the mundane to the insane. Everything that happens, everything that you experience in your life throughout the day is a spiritual event. From standing at the bus stop, standing in the line at the store, to coworkers, to interactions with people, it doesn't matter. It's all connected. All of it is spiritual. Reality Spirituality, for my new followers, my new listeners, it's a show that shares guidelines, different tools, different perspectives of how to remain happy, how to remain connected, how to set your personal vibration, how to set your internal temperature, if you will, connect to the universe and live like that, regardless of what's happening outside, regardless of what happens to you, regardless of your circumstances. I get a lot of questions, which I love emails, and I love when you're sending in your questions. And anger always seems to come up. It's interesting. Come on, who doesn't get angry? Listen, I spent a lifetime getting angry at people, circumstances, whatever. I mean, are you kidding me? The way the wind blows, the way someone else is driving, oh, gee, you could piss me off in a minute. But this is the interesting thing. This is what I've discovered. And for everybody that knows me, I say I wanted two things all my life. Number one, to live to my potential, and number two, to be happy. And when I ask the universe, I'm always given an answer. And so what the universe has shared with me, in every instant, in every moment of my life, I can remain happy 24/7. It is a possibility. It is, yes. And you know what? I've gotten so good at being conscious of when I plug myself in and when I don't plug myself in, meaning I know that if I say, and when I say being happy, I'm talking about living consciously as opposed to living unconsciously. Living consciously meaning that I know what my words are going to create. I know what my behavior is going to create. So if I want to be happy, guess what? I'm only going to create peace. I'm only going to create peace in every one of my relationships. I don't care what I have to do to have peace, Meaning, listen, eat crow, pride, ego, sorry, all of those entities can take a back seat because I want to be happy. My priority is being happy. And I have a perfect example of that, and I'm going to share that with you at the in a little bit. But I want to give the number out because this segment of Ask Rebecca Anything is going to be on either Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes we have guests, and I love to have my Ask Rebecca Anything segment because that's why I'm here. That's my destiny. That's my purpose, is to share with you, my dear listeners, what I've learned about happiness and what I've learned and how to remain and sustain happiness regardless of what happens. So you can call in. Feel free to call in at 646-564-9619. Again, 646-564-9619 if you want to call in and be a part of the show. Ask me a question, and we will break it down to the least common denominator. That's what reality spirituality does. Breaks down every single circumstance, every issue in your life, in my life, to get to the bottom of why or how I can remain happier. Does that mean what did I just say? You know what I'm saying. So for my new listeners, let me just explain. Reality spirituality, it's not a religion. It's a guide to living connected to the universe. And remember, we are all energy, and with that said, we all vibrate at a certain frequency, and you can feel the difference. You can feel when your vibration is open and flowing and light and airy and just, whoo. And you can feel the difference when it's not. When I'm just going to talk about myself. When I have a little bit of irritation, just a little bit of a hair on the back of my neck is standing up, and someone says something or does something, and I'm like, ugh. Well, the reason why that happens for me is because anytime I'm quote unquote irritated, anytime I feel what do they call that? I feel what is that from Star Wars? I feel an unbalance in the force. Yeah, anytime I feel like an unbalance in the force, I know I know for me, there are two entities living there's two entities within, the universal self and the man-made ego self. Now, I ain't hating on the ego, but when I'm listening to the ego's voice, when I'm listening to the ego, I know for a fact I'm going to feel bad. I know I'm going to be irritated. I mean, is the universe ever irritated at anything or anyone? And no. But my ego sure is. I mean, my ego can get annoyed in a flash. So it still comes back to me. All of the power is within me. I have the power to choose which voice, to choose which entity I want to listen to. In every moment, I have that power. And it just depends on how I want to feel. How do I want to feel? I want to feel happy, or I want to feel irritated. Now listen, I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm not saying that irritation, I'm not talking about not feeling anything. Or I'm not talking about putting down these feelings, anger, sadness, depression. No, those feelings, no, you can have those feelings if you choose. See, I choose not to. Why? Honeys, I've lived the majority of my life paying attention to those feelings and emotions and allowing those feelings and emotions to dictate my life. And I ain't having it anymore. It's not happening. Listen, if I do, for whatever reason, fall into the getting angry, irritated, annoyed, take your pick. I let it flow. I let it flow all the way through me. No judgments. It's like an experience. But the cool thing is, in the next moment, I can switch it up. I can feel differently. I want to share with you a story. I want to share with you what happened to me yesterday. And I'm going to, again, give out the number, 646-564-9619. And for whatever reason, I don't have any callers today. And guess what? That's okay, too. The universe is listening, and you can always listen in the archives. Listen, yesterday I was driving home, and I have a cell phone like everybody else, and my cell phone was on speaker. And I have the cell phone. I have it in a spot where it's hands-free, but I can talk on the phone when I'm driving. And I just happened to pull up to a light, so I was parked, waiting at the red light, minding my own business, talking on my cell phone, and all of a sudden, I hear a honking. There's a car honking, and of course, when you hear a honk, you're looking around. Now, mind you, we're still stopped at a signal. And I look to my right, and there's this woman honking her horn, and she's looking at me. And I'm looking at her like, what? My tire's falling off? What? What's going on? What is it, lady? What is it? So I look at her, and she grabs a piece of paper. And I'm looking, and she flips the paper around, and you know what is said on that piece of paper? Do you know what's written on that piece of paper? Do you have any idea? I've never. And it is one of those. It's like a flashcard, but it's an 8x10 piece of paper. And on that paper is written, "Stop talking on your cell phone and drive. Stop talking on the phone and drive." No, or did it say hang up the phone? Hang up the phone and drive. Hang up the phone and drive. She's flashing a sign, a pre-made sign. Hang up your phone and drive. Now, first of all, I was like, wow, that's pretty creative. You have your signs all ready to flash. Good for you, lady. And I started laughing because what's the alternative? Is to get pissed off at her? I started laughing because when she showed me that sign, I'm telling you, her energy, and she had those eyebrows that went down, those angry eyebrows, and she was, hang up your phone and drive. And one of the things that I know without a shadow of a doubt, that if anyone is angry, it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm talking on my cell phone while stopped at a signal, or even if I was driving, still hands-free. But her anger has nothing to do with me. So what does that mean? That means, number one, I do not take anything personally. Number two, I don't take anything personally. Number 3, don't take anything personally. It's not personal. All right, I'll stop. Number 4, nothing is that serious. Her anger, her being angry is really not, first of all, it's none of my business, and it's not serious to me. Now, I know it might be serious to her because I'm not even going to pretend to know why, but are you kidding me? The other thing is there is no way I am going to allow anybody else and their energy to knock me off my high-flying disc or knock me off my soaring and feeling good and happiness. There's nobody that is that powerful to switch my happiness on and or off. I am the only one that has that ability. Not my mother, not my coworkers, not my son, not the strangers on the street, not what's going on in the news, not what is happening in the world. No. Not my bank account, whether or not I'm in a relationship, none of it. There is nothing that I will allow to make me unhappy. And when I say that, if I am feeling anything other than connection to the universe, guess what? I can choose another way to feel. I can choose another way to think. I can choose another perspective in an instant. And this is a really cool part. I can choose to get into this moment. See, that sign that came up, hang up your phone and drive, was in that moment. And in that moment, I looked at the sign and, okay. But in the next moment, when the red light turned green, guess what? I was moving. You know what? Wow, that's pretty. I like that analogy. I was moving. I was in another spot. I got to write that down. That's actually brilliant, Rebecca. I got to write that down. I'm moving in another spot. I'm not in the same place I was when I was stopped at the red light. And that's what the present moment is always about, moving into the next moment. And like anything else, all of this just takes practice. But even before you start practicing, there's actually 2 things that I had to choose. Number 1, make happiness a priority. Number 2, make happiness a commitment, a daily commitment, day in, day out, month in, month out, 365 days a year for the rest of this life. That's a commitment. That's my only commitment. And let everything fall into place. Whew. In the moment, number 1, I did not take her anger personally. Number 2, I'm in the next moment. And number 3, what a funny story, isn't it? I am going to wrap up the show because I do not have any callers, and we have a guest tomorrow. Oh, my gosh, I'm so excited. Reverend Michael Jones is going to be a guest on our Sunday show, which is usually Ask Rebecca Anything. But this young man is just a big ball of positive, great, warm energy, and I cannot wait to meet him live tomorrow on Reality Spirituality. Now, before I wrap up the show, I want to share with you, Reality Spirituality is heard every Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m. Pacific Time. And if you'd like more information on the coaching programs I offer, you can visit my website at www.RebeccaNorrington.com. That's RebeccaNorrington, and go to the Private Sessions tab. If you'd like to receive my free monthly newsletter, send an email to info@RebeccaNorrington.com. You can follow me on Twitter, and that is at RL Norrington, and also go to Reality Spirituality Facebook page and like Reality Spirituality. I have someone in the chat room. I was wondering if you would like to ask a question. I was about to wrap up the show because no one is calling in. This is kind of a impromptu, inspired show. I usually do Ask Rebecca Anything on Sundays. However, I was inspired to do a Saturday Ask Rebecca Anything because tomorrow we have a guest. So remember, you are a physical extension of the universe. You're always evolving. You're always growing. You're always changing. In every moment, you are not the same person that you were a moment ago. It's impossible. And when you realize that, when you realize you are always evolving, guess what? The past has no power. How could yesterday influence your today? Unless you want it to. But how can yesterday influence your day? See, it's all about just changing habits and changing the way that, for me, I had to change the way that I was. In other words, what happened yesterday, why is that even relevant? It's this moment. It's this moment that I pay attention to. It's this moment. And the interesting thing is, if I am peaceful in this moment, I'm creating peace in my future moments. If I am happy and flowing and allowing and accepting in this moment, then that's what I'm going to be creating in my future moments. I have a really fun exercise, game, I like to say game exercise, to share, to give you pointers as to how to remain in the present moment. Because that was a real struggle for me. And I'm not saying I have any of this 100%. No. But practice. And this is what I've been doing lately. I've been doing it for the last couple of weeks. And that is to use my 5 senses to stay in the moment. What? Well, what does that mean? Okay, I'm glad you asked. Using the 5 senses. Well, let's take sight. If I'm regardless of where I am, say I'm on the bus. I take the bus every day to downtown Los Angeles. So I'm sitting on the bus. Now, sometimes I daydream. I look outside and I'm thinking. But if I want to stay in the present moment, then I start focusing on people and what they're wearing and the colors they're wearing. Do they have a backpack? Do they have a purse? Are they wearing tennis shoes? Are they wearing leather shoes? In other words, it's just noticing everything and just stay in that state of just noticing. I mean the slightest things. Okay, let's see. This color is gray. Wow, there's a lot of different grays. Oh, look at the shade of blue. Well, that's an interesting shade. Oh, her hair is brown. Oh, her hair is red. Oh, his hair is short. Oh, he's got a beard. So that is kind of a fun game to play to practice to stay in the moment. That's sight. Now, what about sound, which is really fun too? If you are quiet, There's so many sounds you can pay attention to, especially if you're outside. Inside, too, there's sounds inside. You hear the cars driving by. You can even hear the air. You can hear the air. Right now, what I'm hearing my computer. I'm hearing my computer just kind of, it's got its little bing, bing, bing. Listening to that. Listening a little bit to the outside because the picture window is open. So hearing things being moved, hearing horns honking, hearing. So that's another way to stay in the present moment. Just practice. This is another fun one. Feeling. Wow, I can feel the clothes on my body. I can feel the clothes on my shoulder. I can start touching tables, glasses, touching and feeling how everything feels, feeling the different textures. That's in the moment, isn't it? It is in the moment. Smelling. I have candles lit, and the candles are grape scented. Oh, I love this grape scented candle. I love scented candles. Smelling the candles. Is there anything else to smell? I can actually smell my skin. I can smell my forearm. Yeah, okay. I'm okay. I'm just saying, make it fun. Make it fun. And when I practice in the moment, staying in the moment in those ways, and you can even do a combo, sight and smell, touch and hearing. Yeah. So that's how I practice living in the moment. I've been doing that for the last week, having a lot of fun with it. The thing is that I like to share with my listeners and my audience is, let's lighten up. Let's start dropping our shoulders. Let's start relaxing. Let's start allowing the universe to drive us through this journey. Let's sit in the back seat, hands behind the head, and feet up, and surrender. Surrender to what is. Surrender to what is happening. And flow. Flow and surrender. Surrender and flow. That's what this life is about, everyone. There is no control over what happens to us. We can only control our perspective. We can only control our response. We can control our vibration. We can control how we want to feel. We can control that with practice, like anything else. You want to be a musician, you got to practice an instrument. You want to be a singer, you have to practice singing. You writing, surgeon, even a bus driver. Come on, you can't just hop on a bus and be a good bus driver. It takes practice. And the same thing with developing your spiritual muscles, if you will, your universal muscles, if you will. It's just a daily practice. And I'm a person that, listen, I want it easy. I want it light. I don't want to work. No, I don't want to work at anything. Let the universe do the work for me. That's what it's here for. Why am I working? Why am I working? No. I want everything to be easy, easy breezy. Now, let me say, there are some people, hard work, like to work, struggle, think, now what? That just ain't me. It used to be me, and I got tired of how that felt. I was over feeling like that. I wanted something different, and that's the beauty in this life. You can choose to feel any way you like. Now, I have a couple people in the chat room, and I want to ask, are there any questions? Are there any questions that you have that you would like to ask, that you would like to ask? Please ask. Please do. Let's see. Are there any questions you'd like to ask? I am going to be patient, and I'm going to see if I get a response, because that's why I'm here. Now, the other thing that happened to me, let's talk about patience. Oh, my goodness. Patience is one of the, oh my God, just the ability to be patient. The ability to be patient when I am, don't tell anybody, when I am listening to my mother on the phone. And I talk to her quite often. When I listen to her and she goes on, and kind of like what I'm doing, on and on and on and on and on, about how bad everything is in the world, about how bad the weather is in certain parts of the country, about everything that's wrong with everything. Oh, I love it. Thank you, thank you. I love the little faces. About everything that's wrong. And let me tell you what I did yesterday. This is really funny. And I try to avoid her stories, but everything I try to avoid, guess what? I get double. Yeah, the universe has a great sense of humor. I get double. So this is what happened yesterday. I'm on the phone talking to her, and she said to me, did I tell you about some actor that got a role, and it was one of those, it was a really nice story how he got discovered, and she loves to talk about people on TV and actors, actresses, doctor. Oh, my God. Listen, I don't even have to watch the Dr. Oz show to know what happened on Dr. Oz every blankety-blank day. And she's telling me, did I tell you about this actor and how he got discovered? And this is what I did. This is what I did, audience. Listen. I said, yes, Mom, you did. So basically I lied. Yeah, you did. I was trying to get out of her telling me the story, which in reality, what was I doing? I was resisting, and I was not exercising patience, right? Not exercising patience. The universe listens to all of my crap. The universe listens to all of my shit. The universe listens to everything I say, everything I do with patience. And I tried to get out of listening to the story. So she said, I said, yeah, Mom, I heard you told me that story. She says, I did? I said, yeah, you did. You know, she's a little bit older, so when I pretend that when she thinks she forgets, it's okay because she does forget. So sometimes I use that. Don't tell her, though. And I said, yeah, you told me that story, Mom. I did? And guess what happened, audience? Guess what happens? She told me the story again. Well, let's say for the first time. She told me the story for the first time. Again. The universe is just wanting me to develop patience. A close friend of mine, his mother was killed in an automobile accident. And he said one of the regrets that he had, this was years ago, 15 years ago, but he's talking about it to me. He said one of the regrets he had is that he did not have enough patience with his mother. And the interesting thing is, he said, that's my one regret. And her birthday was a couple of days ago. I mean, this is really interesting story. I'm going to get all, He said he went to the McDonald's that he and his mother used to go to, and she died about 15 years ago, and they never celebrated birthdays, but on her birthday 2 days ago, on the 22nd of January, he said he went to that McDonald's that they both used to go to. And he says, I remember sitting there across from my mother, and she would eat a French fry. First of all, she would take one French fry at a time. Listen, I don't know about you, but if I'm eating French fries, I'm shoving at least 3 of them in my mouth at the same time after I dip them in ranch. He told me that he remembered that he would, get impatient with her. Why does she have to eat so slow? One French fry, and she didn't eat the French fry, with one bite. She would take a little bite of the French fry and another little bite of the French fry, and then she would sip her drink like a little sip, 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 not a gulp, gulp, gulp. And he told me that it would take forever for her to finish a meal. Now, 2 days ago, on January the 22nd, he went to that same McDonald's, and he ordered, it's such a good story, he ordered fish fillet, it was her favorite. He ordered, of course, French fries and a drink, and it was her birthday, and he said that he sat and he ate that meal just as slow as she did in honor of her on her birthday. He said he ate a French fry, one nibble at a time, in honor of her. And he said he could feel his mother's presence. He was connected to her. The ability to be patient with others is so important. And guess where it begins? It starts with being patient with ourselves. It begins with me being patient with me in all aspects. Patience in my own growth, patience in where I am in my life. Because listen, why am I here, universe? Shouldn't I be over there already? Shouldn't I already have a radio show on terrestrial radio? Why am I on the internet? Shouldn't I be on a real radio station, universe? Shouldn't I? Don't tell anyone, but yeah. But see, that's it. The energy of patience, of being able to be as patient as the universe is with us, as patient as it took for our solar system, our Earth to evolve 500 billion years. Are you kidding me? Do you know how long that is? And I want that kind of patience. I could just imagine. That's what I want. That's what I want. Why? Because if I'm that patient, I have a caller. If I'm that patient, can you imagine how I'm going to feel? Can you imagine what patience really feels like? That's a question. And I'm going to go to my caller. Listen, I was so wrapped up into what I was saying. We're going to go live to caller area code 646. Hold on a second. Let me pull you up live. You are on live with on Reality Spirituality. What is your name? Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. What's your name?
My name is Christina.
Hi, Christina. Hi, Christina. What's going on?
I feel very disillusioned, and just wondering if things are going to improve anytime soon, or if that things are going to take, turn for the worst.
What an interesting statement. I love. First of all, thank you, and thank you for sharing, and thank you for your honesty. Can you get a little bit more specific? Let's get really specific. If you need specific help, I need more. What is this? What is the situation? What is the circumstance?
Well, I'm waiting on a decision.
Oh, okay. Now, in the past, I'm not even going to ask you what that is, but in the past, have you noticed that your life is evolving, even your life is evolving, and things have happened to you, has happened to you for a great reason?
No. I don't know if it's for a great reason, but I do know that whatever has happened to me, it's sort of designed to destroy me, kind of.
It's designed to destroy you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
To rob away of everything that I have.
And everything you have is what specifically? Are you talking about external things?
Well, a career.
Okay. So you are talking about something external, a career. So let me give you a little bit of what my perspective on it, and if it feels like a fit, even if it doesn't feel like a fit, that's okay too. My perspective is this: everything's destroying. That's such an interesting thing to say. Nothing can be taken away from you, and nothing can be given to you other than what the universe gives to you. In other words, everything that is happening for a reason, and maybe you don't, or maybe it's not, the reason is not clear. You said so you're what? Okay, let me ask me a question. Give me a question. What is your question?
I did ask you from the very beginning, do you see things improving for me, or that, I'm going to be getting bad news?
Let me go with that. There is a universal plan, and there is our plan. And I'm just going to speak from my own experience for myself. I'm not going to pretend to know, you personally. But for myself, there are plans that I want, or I want it for myself. There are things that I want it for myself. And there was a time when, if those things didn't manifest, I wasn't happy. Or if those things didn't happen, I was disillusioned. And what I've discovered is, in decades of living like that, what I've discovered is that the universe has a different plan for me. And it's my job is to surrender and trust that the universe's plan is the better plan for me, regardless of how it looks. Say I lost my job tomorrow. Say I'm homeless tomorrow. Well, there must be a reason why. A good friend of mine lost his home. And, of course, in the middle of it, he's he's struggling with just that circumstance of losing your home and having to move into an apartment. I mean, he lost his home after 20 years. And with all of that struggling, he realized that, number one, he's in a better neighborhood for his daughter. Number two, he has less responsibilities. In other words, there are 360 different ways to look at the same issue. There are 360 different ways to find a way to look at the same issue and feel good about it as opposed to feeling disillusioned about it. So is there any way that you can look at the same circumstance and feel good about it, or
no?
You just, okay. Well, then that is a choice that you're making, which is okay for you. But
you don't really have an answer for me.
Well,
all right. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Oh, well, isn't that interesting? Yikes! I don't have an answer. No, I didn't have an answer. Well, let me say this. I had an answer, but she didn't want to hear it. That's what I think. Or no. Let me even be clearer. I had an answer, but it wasn't time for her to hear it. How's that? Because let me just go back to me. The universe has been trying to show me and share with these things, share things that I know now forever. In my 20s, in my 30s, in my 40s, the universe has been trying to share the same insights with me, the same wisdom with me forever. And when it was time for me to listen, I did. And when it was time for me not to listen, I didn't. And what a great example of someone that is I'm trying to come up with what a great energy that woman was. What a great energy Christina was. What a great energy that she was to the show. What a great addition. What a great challenge. Thank you, Christina. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing how I can respond to your energy now. Because people, audience, 5 years ago, oh, hell! Jesus. Woo. Well, reality, spirituality, I'm so grateful for that. You know what? I've had a couple of people that have called in with that same energy, a while. And I have to say, I'm getting better and better and better and better at loving it all. Right? Okay. Well, unless someone in the chat room has questions for Rebecca, question for moi, I am going to wrap up the show. And remember, tomorrow we have a guest, Reverend Michael Jones, who is a fascinating, positive energy. I cannot wait to speak with him. If anyone in the chat room has a question, ask Rebecca. This is your chance, just like Christina did. I mean, I might not have an answer for you either. Oh, Jesus, that was so funny. Questions. Getting back to our topic of patience, getting back to our topic of anger, getting back to the topic of choosing how you want to feel, getting back to the topic of what moment Are you going to focus on yesterday's moment? Or are we going to move on to the next moment? We are going to move on to the next moment, and I am going to close the show out. My dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. You're always evolving. You're always changing. You're always growing. Love is patient, and love is kind. Be patient, and be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. Let's connect again tomorrow. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality. Thank you all for listening. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's the new experience. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Reality Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality Spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Get real. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, you gonna feel good.